Hi, my name is Pranay Meher and this is a demo of rigging with pre-matrix nodes or pre-transform nodes in Maya. I have seen the pre-transform concept in various other softwares like Softimage and Houdini, but unfortunately found nothing of that sort in Maya. Therefore, I ended up writing my own API node in C++. Since it is in Maya, I named this node Freeze Transform node. I'm just making this demo to share this idea and see the reaction from fellow riggers. Also note that the idea of using pre-transforms is not originally mine. I have seen it in other softwares from other great riggers. I'm just trying to implement the same concept of rigging in Maya. So what is pre-transform? Well, pre-transforms or the pre-matrix are the transformations applied to any object before their animated or animation attributes are evaluated. And they are very helpful in rigging. Let's see how. So here I have a child-parent relationship between these two objects. Sphere is a parent and cube is its child. But note that even though they are moved in the world space, the transformation values are all 0, even the top group. So now when I move or rotate the parent, the child object follows. But what if you want to change the orientation of the parent object? In normal scenario, you would unparent the child object, change the orientation of the parent object, and then parent it back to the parent object. Where in this case, I have these locators which are acting like pre-transforms. So you can anytime change the orientation as well as position of the parent object without affecting the child. And same is the case with child object. So now with this new position of the parent, now if I select the parent and not the pre-transform locator, and if I change the animation attributes on that object, the child object will follow. You can even change the position of the parent or orientation of the parent even when you have applied some transformations on it. So now I leave it like this and then I change the position of the parent, and the child object is recalculating its position and orientation as per the new position of the parent. If I now reset the values on parent object, you would notice that the child object goes back to where its pre-transform locator is. You see. So let's see how we can use this concept in rigging. So here I have a leg setup and I have rigged it with IK and FK both. And the control system as well as the join position and orientation, they're all calculated using pre-transform. So what we can do now is, let's say we have a COG of the character. So now I'm selecting the COG. This is how the leg is deforming. Suppose I leave the leg like this in this pose and I feel like the COG is down, I want to move it up. You can select the pre-transform locator of that COG and move the COG, and the rig will update itself with the new position of its parent. Note that the IK controller as well as FK controllers both are parented under COG, but I'm still able to change the position of the COG. Let me reset it. Let's say I have deformed my character and I want to change the position of the hip. I'll just grab the locator of the hip and move. And the deformations are updated as per the new position of the hip. So this is the new position of the hip. Because the leg was deformed, we were seeing the movement on the mesh. But if the leg is in this pose and if I move any pre-transform, the skin updates with the new position. And this is very helpful in Maya. And in Maya, there is a way to change the joint position, but the ability to change the joint position with the control system is very useful. And that's what I managed to achieve using this pre-transform concept. So here, let me show you an example. Suppose I dial in the foot roll. And if I want to change the position of the ball joint, I'll just grab the ball locator and I'm updating. Let me dial to a full value. Now if I want to change the position of the toe, I can do it. And note that the FK rig is also updating with the new position. If I want to change the heel pivot, I can do it. I can even change the position of the knee. The skin needs to update. That requires a live skin, which is still not, that is in my plan, but it's still not, I have not started with it, but I know how we can do that so that the skin gets updated with the new joint position. Now the skin is reacting to the painted value that we have. Let me show you another use of this. The very common problem in production is when the rig is ready and a modeler decides to change the scale of the model, it becomes a very tedious job for riggers to update the rig to fit with the new scaled model. So since this file has a reference model, I'll just go ahead and change the reference to a model which is scaled down. So I'm changing the reference. So now I have a model which is scaled down by 50%. At this stage, all I have to do is just grab the locators and position them with the new scale. You might notice that the mesh is deforming, but as soon as you let go of your locator, the skin is calculated perfectly, and I can demonstrate that by switching the skin cluster on and off. You can see that. Because when I move the pre-transform, the skin evaluation takes place, and that's why you see this jitter. I'm not changing the scale of the controllers because I don't want to make this video a long video. So there you go. Now I have a same rig which is fit with a new scaled down model, and it deforms just perfectly. This is IK mode, this is FK mode. Sorry. So here I have a hand rig. Now let's say I make a freeze pose. So I grab these controls. And rotate them. Now I can set the position and orientation of my joint to give me a perfect freeze pose just by rotating one axis. So let me move this hand sideways so that we can easily grab our freeze transforms. So here I have locator. I see that this little finger is making an odd angle, so I can just grab its pre-transform and adjust it. Even if you want to change the length of the finger, you can still do that. And just by looking at the pose, you can set the position perfectly to get a perfect freeze pose. So that's how the freeze transforms are very helpful in rigging. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.